I remember very early on in my HR career, I had just received a new role and I was super excited about it. Yes. It was a Sunday night and I spent hours prepping for my first day. I picked the perfect outfit and made sure that my hair was neat and appropriate for the role. Or so I thought. My very first day on the job, the owner, whom I had not yet had the pleasure of meeting, says to me, "Oh, you're so pretty for a black girl. Oh, and you speak so well. You're going to fit right in here. What's that on your head? It's so exotic." My hair was in braids and pulled back into a neat bun. Would you mind just wearing it straight? It may be a bit distracting to our clients. Now, see, at that point, I just wanted to pick up my bags and run straight out of the door, but I was a young mom with financial responsibilities, so I stayed. Later on that afternoon, I was in new hire orientation, and I received the employee handbook. I was shocked to find that wearing stockings was a requirement, as well as wearing a skirt or a dress. No pants for women. Are we in the 1950s? You see, the thing that drew me to this organization was that their diversity statement read something like this: "We appreciate different backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives. We seek talented individuals that are not afraid to bring their whole selves to work." It should have read, "We appreciate different backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives. We seek talented individuals that are not afraid to bring their whole selves to work, only if it doesn't make us uncomfortable. Please leave your ethnic, cultural, and political views at home. Also, leave the feelings there as well. The rest of you is welcome." In recent years, as a result of the George Floyd murder and the LGBTQIA+ movement, the whole self movement has made momentum in part because it now aligns with corporate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. So now we want to make employees feel comfortable bringing their whole selves to work, even when it has nothing to do with the work that they're producing. While working in HR, I received a call from one of my business units. "Hey, Crystal, we're having a problem with Joe. Joe used to be our top performer. However, he's now having problems at home with his spouse that are spilling over into the workplace." When I asked Joe what was wrong, Joe's response was, "I'm not okay." What does that even mean? I would like a formal write-up, please. Now, my response was, wait a minute. Well, before we get into writing Joe up, have you just taken a moment out to listen to Joe, offer him some additional support? After all, we are a company that promotes bringing our whole selves to work. The manager's response was, "We don't have time for this. We have quotas to fill. I need his head in the game while he's here." Now, because of my role as a support to the business and not the ultimate decision maker, Joe was in fact provided with a written warning. A few months later, during review time, Joe was labeled as disengaged. When I inquired why, the manager said that Joe was in fact completing all of the job requirements. However, he was no longer going above and beyond to do anything more. My response? I wonder why. So what does bringing your whole self to work mean? It means the ability to be your true, authentic self, right? For some of us, it may mean the ability to be open and honest about our feelings and our emotions. The ability to say, I'm not okay, and not feel judged. For others, it may mean the ability to speak up and offer an opinion that differs from others without fear of persecution. It may also mean the ability to be true to your cultural and personal beliefs, offering your unique experiences and perspectives. How many of us have been afraid to disclose a disability, our age, our race, our sexual orientation, or maybe even tried to hide an accent to hide who we really are? Michelle Obama talks about the problems that she faced while working in the White House. She was unable to bring her whole self to work because she feared that it would be a distraction to the presidency. Unfortunately, many policies regarding professionalism critique anything from dress to vernacular to the way that people work. Even today, these systems reward people that adhere to a Eurocentric standard, leaving everyone else to either conform or be punished. Thus, my experience at the beginning. Gallup tells us that over 85% of employees are disengaged at work. 85%. Take a moment and let that sink in. These employees report that they are disengaged due to a distrust with their coworkers, their supervisors, or even the organization as a whole. And when feelings of distrust and disengagement are present, true authenticity is often absent. In fact, a study by Deloitte shows us that over 61% of employees report hiding a piece of them in order to fit in with perceived work norms. This form of self-censorship can lead to hindered collaboration as well as job dissatisfaction. I remember receiving a call from one of my employees. Andre was ready to just leave it all. He was so frustrated at work because he could not bring his whole self to work. Andre felt unsupported in the workplace. You see, Andre was another top performer who also made sure that he hit or exceeded all of his metrics. However, he kept getting passed over for promotions. He wondered why. He feared that it was due to speaking up in a meeting against an executive. Andre had a white male counterpart that said the same thing in the meeting, more aggressively, and he was praised for his constructive feedback. From that point, Andre would do nothing more to get through the day. What was the point? No one was listening anyway. Talk about feeling undervalued. Unfortunately, many employees across many organizations are met with the same unresponsive and unsupportive workplaces. What we must understand is that there is power in being able to bring your whole self to work. And here's why it matters. Embracing authenticity encourages a culture of vulnerability and open communication. Bringing your whole self to work is all about authenticity, yet many organizations inauthentically champion the cause. It's damaging to your employees. So how do we fix that? I challenge organizations to lead with DEI, with authenticity in their DEI practices. I encourage organizations to equip their employees with the tools needed to be able to create a culture of inclusivity. Unfortunately, what I have seen in HR is that we promote leaders based on who they know or how well they get the job done. I'll say that again. Who they know or how well they get the job done. There are few organizations that actually take the time out to evaluate and then train our leaders on how to lead people. Employers must understand how to train our leaders on how to create a culture of psychological safety. Also, it's time to revamp those outdated policies. We need to review our policies and look at them through the lens of discrimination, harassment, as well as unconscious bias. As an individual, I encourage you to remember that one person's courage, determination, and vision can set forth a wave of transformation that reshapes societies and challenges cultural norms and leaves an indelible mark on history. After all, where would we be without those whom dared to bring their whole selves into spaces? Remember Rosa Parks, who decided that she belonged and refused to shrink for anyone. Remember Martin Luther King, who decided to stand up and fight against discrimination. Remember Gandhi, who showed us that we can stand up and authentically battle the toxic culture of conformity. Remember your why. Remember why you were hired. Remember why you were qualified and refuse to show up as anything less. Speak up and don't allow anyone to make you feel as though you need to hide pieces of you. The future of our communities, our workplaces, and our world depends on it. After all, we must be the change that we want to see. Thank you.